Hello, Suns fans. This is Suns Latest. I am Rich Rubin. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you had a good weekend. The Suns basketball, the lucky autograph of the day is Paul Westphal, right under Tom Van Arsdale. Paul Westphal. I remember being a little kid handing this to him and go, will you please sign my ball? Paul Westphal on the going home poster. All right, so let's put the rumors away for a minute. Nothing really happened over the weekend anyway. So Kuminga, Simmons, Giddey, we're just going to give those a rest. And remember, those are just rumors. There's always some truth to some rumors, not all of them. But we're going to focus on the positive, but we can't focus on the positive before we focus on the negative. And there's a lot of negative going into this year. But we'll get to the positive. Yes, there's $22 million in dead money for the rest of the decade. Thank you, Bradley Beal. Also, thank you, Matt Ishbia. Sorry. Way it goes. No draft capital for the rest of the decade, and limited in who we can trade for and sign at this point. And yet, looks like Devin Booker going to go back to being the number one option as a shooting guard. And along with Chris Paul in 2021, helped the Suns get to the NBA Finals. The following year, the Suns won the most games in their entire history at 64 games, and Devin Booker was first-team All-NBA. And if they go back on that, then I'll lose a little bit of faith. You don't do that to a guy like Devin Booker. Put him where he's most effective, and don't think about changing it. And I don't think Coach Ott is going to go down that road, because I don't think Coach Ott is an idiot. Let's not be stupid about this. Ryan Dunn, poised to have a breakout season as a legit 3-and-D wing. Looks like he will also get the opportunity to start. His three-point field goal percentage went up in the Summer League. I said it before, I think Ryan Dunn is going to have a breakout year and might even be, at worst, honorable mention, All-NBA defense. I really believe that about Ryan Dunn. He looks like a gamer to me. And that'll help change our defensive issues. Dillon Brooks is a legit pest. And I think, this might be wishful thinking, but it's a positive thought. If Dillon Brooks is a starter, and I think he has to be a starter, and plays defense as well as he does, and doesn't do the Dillon Brooks things that's got him a reputation around the league, he gets away from being a Draymond-type player and just plays solid D, and becomes a good team player, this might be a change in career path for him, and really good for the Suns. Center Mark Williams, if healthy, can score and is a good rim protector. If that guy stays healthy, the Suns have a legitimate top 15 center, and if he's good, look out. May even get to top 10. That would be incredible for the Suns to have a 7-footer who is actually a legit center. Finally, and we talked about this before, Colin Gillespie will sure get decent court time. And last season, if you were paying attention, you know that's a huge positive. He's a true point guard. We have been sorely lacking in the point guard department. So let's see what we can do with Colin Gillespie. This is going to lead us into our next topic regarding Jaylen Green and Colin Gillespie and what we're going to do at that position. Will the Suns contend in the loaded West? No. And we got to be honest about it. Look at the West, and look at how the good teams have already improved. Denver, I have a feeling, is going to be right back in the mix. If not, that's going to be it for Denver, and Jokic is going to look somewhere else. But don't be surprised if the Suns get so overlooked that they sneak up in the standings after the All-Star break. So those are some positives. No, it's going to be a difficult year. It's going to be better than last year. I can promise you that. So moving on to Jaylen Green. We've been talking about this since the Suns' latest, what do we call this? Since Suns' latest has begun. It's arguably the most important topic going into next season. And I'm never going to shut up about it until I see it happening in real time. Devin Booker is not the point guard. Do not make him a point guard. Now, the latest is that the Suns are considering forcing that gig on Jaylen Green. Jaylen Green is a natural too, but he's not Devin Booker. And you have to start him. He was part of the Kevin Durant trade. You have to start Jaylen Green. I'll guarantee you that was part of the trade. That was part of the agreement. When Jaylen Green said, yeah, I'll go to the Suns for Kevin Durant, do I get to start? No, he said, well, I ain't going if I don't get to start. Or he would have found, him and his people would have found a way to veto that trade if he wasn't going to be a starter. You have to start Jaylen Green just for appearances, because you just traded KD for him and Dillon Brooks. You have to start him. So he will be a starter. He can for sure fill it up. Inconsistent, but he's a young player. He's 22. If Jaylen Green gets point guard duties forced upon him, We have no idea how he's going to react. We have no idea if he's going to give it a shot. My hope is that Devin Booker tells him, he says, hey, look, we can share some of this. I have no problem with Booker doing some facilitating. He can't just touch and shoot all day long. But I have a feeling Booker, at this point in his career, might be a mentor to Jaylen Green. Jaylen Green can do nothing but learn from Devin Booker at this point. So as of right now, you have to start him. You can't trade KD for a bench player. Colin Gillespie is the backup. Recent signees Jordan Goodwin, Jared Butler are going to fight it out for the remaining backup point guard spot. I have a feeling Goodwin's going to win this one. I think there's something going on with Jared Butler regarding his injury history. Because there's just, the only reason I think that is you never hear anything about his injury history, except that he missed a bunch of games. But he showed some promise. So the Suns aren't going to take a guy just to cut him. But they might be having him in there just to see how much of a dog Goodwin can be. And I think Goodwin's going to get that spot. The only thing positive right now is that the powers that be understand that they will feel our wrath if they make Devin Booker a point guard, right? Okay. If I'm Booker, I would flat out refuse and demand a trade to a team, to another team, if that's it. And I know he signed the extension. I know it's like, no, it's not going to happen. But he could cause a ruckus and he could make a stink, and he's never done that. He's a loyal Suns player. He's the all-time leading scorer as of last year. I don't see that happening. I'm just saying, if it's me, if it's you, what would you do? Somebody's completely taking you out of what you naturally do better than most. They'll say, no, you need to do that because we suck and we couldn't figure out what else to do with that position. I don't know. I would have no problem with Booker raising a stink and going, you know what? I need to be Devin Booker. And if you're not going to let me be Devin Booker, then get rid of me. And really, and I don't go over tons of stats, but this is a trip. In 2021, first year with CP3, Booker averaged 25.6 on nearly 49% field goal percentage. In 2022, jumped to 26.8. In 2022, 2023, 27.8 with CP3. Don't mess with those numbers. Green has averaged 3.4 assists over his short career. So no, he's not a natural point. But if Coach Ott can persuade Green to defer and assure him that he'll be able to shoot too, look, the Suns are going to need Jaylen Green's offense anyway. Because, there's no Beal, there's no KD. They're going to need his offense. So assure Jaylen Green that he'll be able to score. Assure Jaylen Green that he'll be able to do everything that he did in Houston. He's just going to have to be a facilitator. It is a gamble, but I am 100% done with Jaylen Green. With Devin Booker being a point guard. I'm over it. All right. So, hey, and comment anytime you want. Good, bad, I don't care. Criticize me all you want. It's not about me. It's about the Suns and what you think. And that's totally cool. Great comment from TG Killa 1. I truly think Colin Gillespie resembles TJ McConnell of the Pacers as a point guard. I can remember a time when the league had doubts about TJ McConnell and his ability to play in the league, and he just went all the way to the NBA Finals, and he was a big part of that, regardless of the outcome of the Finals. With that said, Gillespie just needs to keep playing his game and drown out all the critics. Gillespie will be a great point guard and doesn't have to be an all-star in today's game because there are so many talented players in the league. Every player has a role to play on their team. Now, who's going to own that role and live up to their expectations as a player? I think Gillespie has what it takes, end quote. I love that you made that point, Killer. TG Killer 1. I love that you made that point about Gillespie not having to be an all-star in today's game. There are so many quality players in the NBA. They're not all-stars. They don't need to be. They don't even have to aspire to be. They just have to fill the role. That's it. That's what makes a great team. Yes, we have Devin Booker, a star. Yes, we have a lot of good pieces, but it's still a team. Shaq and Kobe Lakers don't win squat without Rick Fox and Derek Fisher and Robert Horry. They don't win. Yes, greatest duo ever, arguably, along with Magic and Kareem. Magic and Kareem don't win without Worthy, without all the other guys that they had on the team that I can't think of right now, without Kurt Rambis. You need these guys. You need to make a team. So I love that you brought that up because I think we lose sight of that all the time. I think it's like, big three, need the stars, and it's like, no, you need a team. I think that's something basketball fans overlook. Not everyone can be, and it's supposed to be an all-star. You need guys like Gillespie, who probably have been underestimated their entire life and have an understanding of what their role on a team is. And we all need guys like that on our team. So far, it looks like he can be that guy. Thanks for the comment, TG Killer 1. I think that's a great insight to what we need in Phoenix. So moving on to Suns legend of the day from loyal viewer. We have a loyal viewer here at Suns Latest at Curious Minds 2525, who is a bigger Suns fan than I will ever be. Quote: Colin Gillespie reminds me a lot of our Suns legend, of a guy who I'd like for you to have a Suns legend of the day, Jeff Hornacek. Yes, it's spelled Czech, but it's pronounced Sek, Hornacek. Jeff Hornacek. The great Chick Hearn, may he rest in peace, of the Lakers. When I would watch Laker games and Suns games, he would constantly call him Hornacek, Hornacek, Hornacek. And I would lose my freaking mind and just yell, Sek! It's Sek! So I'm not too angry about something that happened 25 years ago. So our Suns legend of the day, Jeff Hornacek. There's an argument for Hornacek not only being one of the best players in Suns history, but he was also one of the most popular and one of the most likable and one of the most humble and just badass dudes. He was just a good guy, total fan favorite with good reason. Every team wants a Jeff Hornacek. Number retired, hanging in the rafters at his school. He was an Iowa State Cyclone. Picked 46 overall in the second round and 86 by the Suns. Couple of growing pains. First couple of years on a struggling Suns team. Then future Suns legend of the day, Coach Cotton Fitzsimmons, returns to the Suns. Suns signed free agent and future legend of the day, Tom Chambers. Suns go from 28 wins in 87-88 to 55 wins in 88-89. Hornacek, third offensive option with Chambers and future Suns legend of the day, KJ, Kevin Johnson. But Hornacek, he could take over whenever you need him to. 4 straight playoff appearances, including 2 Western Conference Finals runs. In the 91-92 season, Hornacek led the Suns in scoring at 20.1 and became an NBA All-Star, and I completely forgot about that. Hornacek was an all-star player. He was that good. Perfect complement to all-pro point guard Kevin Johnson. Hornacek defense is honest, kept the pressure off KJ as well with incredible shooting range, knocked down dagger threes. Good defender, smart player, tough as hell. The best teammate. The best teammate. As good as he was, Suns needed something to get them over the edge. And this was heartbreaking and exciting at the same time. So they traded him, along with Andrew Lang and Tim Perry, to Philly, Charles Barkley, in 1992. I remember this trade so well. I was in New York for my cousin's wedding, and I'm in their apartment at Battery Park, and I'd gotten in late. So the family was out. I just went to the apartment, and I picked up a New York Times. I go to the sports section, and my head almost fell off because it says, Suns received Barkley and 2 team drivers. I was like, and there was no cell phones at the time. I couldn't tell anybody. There was nobody to call. My whole family was out. My parents and the rest of my family come home. They go, hey, welcome. I go, Suns got Barkley! But it was heartbreaking to lose Jeff Hornacek. So as good as the Barkley Suns were, I felt that if they could have somehow kept Hornacek, they probably still would have lost to the Bulls, but it might have been even more competitive. And that was a pretty good competitive finals in 93. So the Sixers screwed up and used him. How many times have you heard that? The Sixers screwed up and used him exclusively as a point guard. It didn't work, so they shipped him to Utah for a really underrated player, really great scorer named Jeff Malone, to run up and down the court with John Stockton. That worked. Hornacek was an integral part of Utah's back-to-back finals teams. Western Conference champs going against MJ's Bulls. On November 23rd, 1994. Oh, hey, that's my birthday. Hornacek set then NBA record with 8 consecutive three-pointers in a single game against the Sonics. This wasn't when it was just let fly with the 3. Yes, there were great three-point shooters, but 8 in a game, that was a lot. It was before Klay Thompson. The same season, he tied an NBA record, 11 consecutive three-pointers, from December 30th, 1994 through January 11th, 1995. And it seemed like Hornacek never missed a free throw. And in fact, he once made 67 in a row from the 12th of 99 in November to January 6th. He would stroke the side of his face 3 times for every free throw attempt, his way of saying hi to his 3 kids. Career free throw percentage of 87.7, top 20, 16th highest in NBA history. Cool stats about Hornacek. His number 14, retired by the Jazz. He is remembered mostly as a member of the Jazz, more high profile as they got to the finals, played with Stockton and Malone, but not in Phoenix. He is a Sun through and through, to me and to us. Yes, agree. 2013, Hornacek became the Suns head coach after years as an assistant in Utah. Suns improved by 23 victories upon the previous season's record, 48-34 record in Hornacek's first season as head coach. I think that was the Gerald Green, Goran Dragic year, where they just surprised everybody, and Dragic was 3rd team All-NBA. It sucks that the Suns had to miss the playoffs that year. That year, the West was stacked. He was second in voting for Coach of the Year. I didn't know that. I forgot about that. He lost out to Pop in San Antonio. Fired in 2016. The Suns were moving in a new direction. Moved on to coaching the Knicks. No one could help the Knicks back then. Moved on to Houston as an assistant. Back to the Jazz as a consultant in 2022. Honestly, I don't know if he's still in Utah. I will have to find out. They don't really list consultants. They list assistant coaches, and sometimes you get a listing of a scout. I'll look into that. I'm not sure if he's still with Utah. Jeff Hornacek. Horny is your Suns legend of the day. So thank you to, I mean, it's like 25-25. Thank you to Curious Mind 25-25. Great suggestion for Suns legend of the day. Anytime you got a comment, anytime you have a legend that I haven't gotten to yet, and I'll get to all of them, remember. But let me know. Just make a comment. Subscribe to Suns Latest, and we're going to do this again tomorrow. All right, thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.